There's often a negative stigma, or whatever you want to call it, behind sales. I see posts and have read posts throughout the years of technicians who complain that their boss, is sales driven. Would you like to know why this happens? It's because there's a lot of things that it takes to run the business, which is like software if you're paperless, your tablets, your cell phones, the invoices if you're still writing invoices, insurance. So if you have a mistake or you have an accident or something happens in a customer's home, you're covered and the customer's covered. There's office phones, new tires for your vehicles when they go bad, internet for the office, utilities for the office. There's also indirect expenses such as, dispatcher, which is kind of a direct expense, but office manager, anyone who's not physically writing tickets and collecting money, who it takes to operate the business properly and make sure the customers are taken care of, like accounting, bookkeepers, your website, advertising. So the phone rings, so you have work to go do. All cost a lot of money. Tools and equipment that you need. I'm sure even if you provide some of your tools on your van, there's still a lot of tools, torch, reclaim bottles, nitrogen, oxygen, acetylene. Those are probably things that you didn't pay for. Insurance benefits, if your company has any of those, 401k, IRA, we match up to 3% on a simple IRA. So that's something that if you have any type of retirement benefits, that stuff costs money. There's training. Any training. Have you ever been to training that you didn't pay for? I'm sure you have. And the uniforms that you have, maybe hats if your employer provides hats, computers, printers, paper, ink, pens, business cards, ID badges, toilet paper, stock parts. There's parts that sit on your van or sit in the warehouse that don't get sold for 2 or 3 months. So this all has an expense that comes with it. Ladders, whether you use them every day or not, you got to have them. Business license renewals, maybe your journeyman's license renewal, or maybe the company makes you pay for that themselves. We pay for everybody's here. Tags, taxes for the vehicles, maybe a mortgage or a rent for the building that you operate out of, repairs to that building, shop maintenance, all these things cost money, and that's one of the reasons why we have to make money. And the bottom line is that sales are the oxygen of the business. If you don't make sales, the business starves and you're going to find yourself looking for another job. So it's so important to get this negative stigma away from sales. Or maybe you're a business owner that wants some of these things that were listed and that we talked about. And, one of the things that's going to happen is you got to get a lot more serious about sales. If you're not currently following a guy named Kerwin Ray, he's from Australia. He's got a lot of deep insights into how we behave and stuff, so I'd recommend following him. But one of the things he says, which is so true, is that when it comes to sales, we hate making people feel uncomfortable. And we hate having tension between in any conversation. But he also says that one of the most difficult things, and I truly believe this for all of us, is just to make a decision. So by selling and by, ethically, if they don't need it, I'm not saying that if it doesn't improve their life, improve their comfort, and if you wouldn't sell it to your mom, then I wouldn't do it. It has to be ethical, always, always. But, it's one of those things that who doesn't need a start booster added to their system? Who doesn't need a drain line safety switch? Who wants to have a flooded basement, and wet carpet? You know, who doesn't need cleaner air in their home? I'd say just about everybody. Everybody can benefit from a humidifier. Everybody can benefit from a more accurate thermostat. Everybody can benefit by having their system maintenance twice a year. These are all benefits. They're good for the customer, but they're also really good for the company. So when people say they want to wait, and we say, hey, why not do this sooner rather than later? You know, we naturally want to feel like we're being pushy, but the bottom line is we're not. We're doing something that can help the customer make the right decision, which is the hardest thing that they're having trouble with. So when they say, well, they want to wait, oftentimes it's just a stall to keep them from having to make a decision. So when you hold them accountable and you have some closes, you know, to help them make their decision, and I'm not saying push way beyond the comfort zone, but to push just a little bit is not, if you truly believe that it's going to help the customer and you truly believe in your product, service, company, and yourself, then this is not a problem anymore. I'll have you consider the possibility that could be the entire problem, is maybe you don't feel like you're worthy. You don't feel like it's making that you deserve to make a sale, you know? So think about that for a minute. And I advise you to change your thinking about that. Are you going to do a good job for the customer? Are you going to take care of them once you're finished with the job? Do you know that your company is the right decision for them to make? Would you rather some other company, the chuck in a truck down the road, would you rather them put in the humidifier for the customer? I would assume that the answer is no. So you're doing a service to the customer by allowing you, who's going to take great care of them, to do the work so they don't go buy it down the street and get screwed over. So it's one of those things that if you truly believe in yourself and you truly believe in your company and what you're doing and what the company stands for, and you know they got your back and you know that it's the right thing for the customer, then it's a no-brainer. And once you get that belief in your system and you believe 100% that it's the right decision, then those conversations become easier. It becomes a lot easier to say, come on, Mrs. Smith, you deserve this, you know? You deserve to not have scratchy throats when you wake up in the morning, to not have bloody noses anymore. You deserve this. Let's go ahead and get this done. To say something like that, I wouldn't have done it, 5 years ago. But the bottom line is, sales is the oxygen to my business, and it's going to benefit Mrs. Smith. A new humidifier, she's going to love it. It's going to cure the problems that are created with the furnace running all the time during the cold season. So, and I know I'd rather me put it in than someone else. So let's think about that when we think about closing people and putting a little bit of tension on them just to help them make a decision. So don't go around saying that they don't have the money. That is just a cop-out. That's an excuse that you weren't able to help them make the right decision. That same person will turn around and go buy a brand new vehicle right off the lot, but yet they'll deal with bloody noses and scratchy throats if we're talking about humidifiers. That happens all the time. Don't tell me you haven't been to a service call where there's a brand new vehicle sitting in the driveway that they're probably paying $500 a month for, and they can't afford an $80 payment to upgrade their system. It's never the money. When it is the money, it's a fraction of a percent that it's actually the money. It's normally you did not show them the value of what they're going to experience when they do own this. So we've got to think about that as well. That's something that everybody says. I mean everybody, and you're probably you may get mad at me for saying this, that it's not the money. But the truth is it's not. So I'm just trying to help convince you so you can better your career and better your business and better your life and better your employees' life, your coworkers. You know I hate the word employees, so we are coworkers. We work together, but I'm just want you to understand who I'm talking about. So it's not the money. You didn't convince them that this is the right decision, and you didn't help them make that decision. So when you don't put a little tension and create a little bit of tension on the customer when it's time for them to make a decision and they want to stall and wait and put it off and then turn around and go buy a brand new vehicle or go buy, 3 new video games or something else that they don't really need, they just want, well, consider that you're the one who didn't do the good job. It's not them. So stop blaming them. And let's make more sales so we can all have better lives. We deserve to make money. If you haven't watched the Weldon Long video about the nuclear plant, I suggest you look that up, because he's just trying to communicate that you deserve more. You deserve to. There's a price that you've paid to get the knowledge that you have. And that could have been late nights, getting on a roof with 6 inches of snow, being on a roof in 110-degree heat. Those were all experiences that gained you knowledge. You went to classes to learn more about your trade. You do this for a living. You've been to maybe if you've been in it for a while, hundreds and hundreds of service calls, so you could gain the knowledge. The reason why it doesn't take you so long to fix something once you gain that knowledge is because you've paid the price to get the knowledge. So now that you have that, that's worth something. So don't be afraid to charge what you're worth. I hope this hit home with you. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel. Also, I was recently on a podcast with HVAC After Dark. So make sure to check out there. I'm going to leave the link below, and make sure to listen to that podcast, and also subscribe. It's John Israel and Gil Cavey that put on the show. A couple of great guys doing great things for the industry. I appreciate them letting me come on their show, and I hope to be on there again sometime. Also, if you've gotten my book, Busyness to Business, and you enjoyed it and you liked, if you grabbed any little nugget of information out of there, please leave me a review on Amazon. And that's it. Let's go make money. Merry Christmas.